So there's a bell to call us to meditation. For those of you on Facebook, there's no telling when you might see this, but while I'm sitting here, it looks like it's the 2nd of October at 7 o'clock. And this is the Buddha Broadcasting Network from Portland Insight Meditation Community. And we're going to put aside all the busyness of the day and take a few deep breaths and do some meditation. I think I might need some water. All right. My name is Jim Dalton, and this is broadcast under the name Jim's Guest House, because when we started this evening online meditation was the beginning of COVID, and we used Rumi's poem on the guest house as the launching pad, welcoming all beings to our practice, ringing a bell. And that's not a very good bell. Let's try it again. There we go. Letting the bell invite all beings to our practice. We develop a combination of relaxation and alertness in our physical body, letting the shoulders soften, letting the neck relax, maybe turn back and forth, noticing how the different muscles and tendons support the head no matter where you turn your chin. There's a system operating underneath, keeping the top 2 or 3 vertebrae soft and open. Take a breath and feel the rib cage expand. Again, there's a gradual process of breathing. Everything changes every millisecond. We begin to breathe. We continue to breathe. We release the breath in a sigh almost. And then it starts again. A long time ago, I found a book on breathing, breathing when you're in need of healing, when you're in need of rejuvenation. There was a certain rhythm established with belly breathing, counting to 5. Exhale, counting to 5. In. Out. And this breathing pattern was set up to calm the beating of the heart. So eventually the heart rhythm would take on qualities of the breath. So you might get 5 heartbeats for each in-breath and 5 heartbeats for each out-breath. And pretty soon that coordination would first relax us and then provide for the optimum exchange of gas in the lungs. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Belly breathing. Out. And this kind of alert attention to the rhythm was kind of manipulative and full of effort at the beginning, but slowly it becomes a familiar rhythm, and you don't try anymore, but you just let the body find what it needs. It may not be 4 counts, it may be 6, or it may be 3, but you start with that deliberate rhythm to heal the frustrations and the disappointments, the confusion, the fear, things that have happened during the day leave their marks on the nervous system. And getting the nervous system aligned slowly, we just accept the wisdom of the body to find the right rhythm. There's some kind of healing balm in rest and relaxation, wisdom and acceptance. It's a little complicated pouch of awareness. It's got several ingredients, but the wisdom is always there as loving awareness, accepting this body breathing, the gift of life, opening like a gate and then swinging closed. But the central ingredient is acceptance of this life, acceptance of the awareness of this life. It's hard to put the words together correctly. Does the awareness accept, or does the acceptance become aware? I don't know. But there's a poet that really worked at finding the words around her acceptance of life. Her name is Jane Hirschfield. This is kind of a long poem, but I'm going to read it twice. Maybe more. The name of the poem is I Would Like. I would like my living to inhabit me the way rain, sun, and their wanting inhabit a fig or apple. It's an unusual way to start. I would like my living to inhabit me the way rain, sun, and their wanting inhabit a fig or apple. So wanting is another way of expressing desire, and she's putting herself in the place of a fig or an apple, wanting the rain, the sun, and living to inhabit it. And she would like my living to inhabit me the same way. I would like to meet it also in pieces, scattered. So the organic feel of the beginning is different than the second stanza. I would like to meet it, her living, not her life. It's not a thing, but she does use the word it, maybe because she has to for the rhythm of the poem. I'm going to just read it. I would like to meet it also in pieces, scattered, a conversation set down on a long hallway table. I would like to meet it also in pieces, scattered, a conversation set down on a long hallway table, a disappointment pocketed inside a jacket, some long ago longing glimpsed, half recognized in the corner of a thrift store painting. To discover my happiness walking first toward and then away from me down a stairwell on two strong legs all its own. Her happiness. To discover my happiness walking first toward, then away from me, down a stairwell on two strong legs all its own. Also, the uncountable wheat stalks, how many times broken, beaten, sent between grindstones before entering the marriage of oven and bread. The uncountable wheat stalks, how many times broken, beaten, sent between grindstones before entering the marriage of oven and bread. Let me find my life in that too. In my moments of clumsiness, solitude, in days of vertigo and hesitation, in the many year ends that found me standing on top of a stovetop to take down a track light. My moments of clumsiness, solitude, in days of vertigo and hesitation, in the many year ends that found me standing on top of a stovetop to take down a track light. In my nights, asked, sometimes answered questions. So in her nights, questions that were asked and sometimes answered. But the phrasing is startling to me. In my nights, asked, sometimes answered questions. I would like to add to my life, while we are still living, a little salt and butter, one more slice of the edible apple, a teaspoon of jam from the long simmered fig, to taste as if something tasted for the first time what we will have become then. So, one more time. I would like my living to inhabit me the way rain, sun, and their wanting inhabit a fig or apple. I would like to meet it also in pieces, scattered, a conversation set down on a long hallway table, a disappointment pocketed inside a jacket, some long ago longing glimpsed, half recognized in the corner of a thrift store painting. to discover my happiness walking first toward, then away from me, down a stairwell on two strong legs all its own. So there's her happiness. To discover my happiness walking first toward and then away from me, down a stairwell on two strong legs all its own. Also the uncountable wheat stalks, how many times broken, beaten, sent between grindstones before entering the marriage of oven and bread. Let me find my life in that too. In my moments of clumsiness, solitude, in days of vertigo and hesitation, in the many year ends that found me standing on top of a stovetop to take down a track light. In my nights, asked, sometimes answered questions. I would like to add to my life while we are still living a little salt and butter, one more slice of the edible apple, a teaspoon of jam from the long simmered fig, to taste as if something tasted for the first time what we will have become then. So, letting the sounds of the poem fade away, feeling the resonance wherever we might feel a resonance with her acceptance of the little common details of life that are pulled together into what we call living, what we call inhabiting our living. Each of the images fades away as the sound of the poem, the sound of the words fade away. Slowly the images fade away, just like the experiences that they call up arise and fade away. And as we reflect on the arising and fading away of our experiences, there may be some resonance with her deep acceptance of the rising and fading away of all of her ordinary experiences. And she's obviously sharing them with someone, because every once in a while she'll say we. She's careful not to fixate on the person outside the poem. It's just her feelings, her experiences, but they definitely are in relationship. First with the objects and the images, and secondly with the mysterious we that she's sharing with. But our life is like that too. Experience arises, proceeds for a while, could be something wanted, could be something not wanted and only endured, but it also could be something totally accepted. Slice of bread with fig jam. This is living. Noticing with loving awareness the arising and the passing away of our experience. This breath arising, passing away. Rich in the oxygen and vital gases that support our living body, our living awareness, our loving awareness. Breathing in, breathing out, calming, accepting, rejoicing, releasing, all in the right time, in the right rhythm. Sitting here like this, reflecting on our living together with our loved ones and the things, the ordinary things of our lives. Living with our experience like this. Underneath it all, acceptance, witnessing, noticing, loving awareness. Coming back again and again to our breath, the rhythm of life, opening the gate, closing the gate. mind wanders, you can notice what's arising. Something in the desire world, wanting, reaching out, pulling in. Something in the world of aversion, pushing away, pushing down, tightening against. What's arising? Can we just release it as soon as we recognize it? This is wanting. This is wanting not. This is being pulled in many directions, confused, afraid, hopeless, powerless, engaged, empowered. Just notice the quality of the mind state. Might be fatigued, overburdened, and dull. Welcoming each visitor to Rumi's guest house. They can poke their head in the door or in the window. But we don't have to engage in long stories and conversations that take us away from our loving awareness. Right here, right now, we can release into simple, loving awareness with this breath. Coming back to the simple sensations in the body, feet on the floor, bottom in the chair, soft belly, upright spine, noticing sound in the room, sound close in, like your own breathing, sound in the walls and the floor and the ceiling, sound beyond the windows outside. Awareness of touch, awareness of hearing, awareness of taste, the taste of our own mouth, the familiar smells of our environment. Simple touch, feeling the fabric of our clothes against the skin, the rhythm of breathing. We come right to the center of the chest and breathe through the heart. Breathe with gratitude for this breath of life. Breathe with acceptance of this breath of life. Feeling the radiance of life fill the heart, fill the torso. Feel the light of awareness in the heart. Might have a color, might have a texture, a glow, subtle sensation. The feelings that are called the Brahma Viharas, the place where the gods abide. Old-fashioned words like abiding and abodes, the abodes of the gods, are right here, right now, in this heart. The abode of joyful celebration of our own success, of the success of others. Joyful celebration of loving kindness for ourselves, for our family and friends. Devotional compassion for the suffering that we know in our lives and the suffering we know in our family and friends' lives. the suffering in the world. We devote our awareness of this suffering as if it were a gift to give to the Kuan Yin, to the Blessed Mother in the Catholic religion, or some divine, compassionate being in your imagination. Turn over the suffering and the confusion and the fear to a divine presence in the abodes of the gods. Little by little, equanimity grows. We recognize that life is filled with love and suffering, filled with kindness and cruelty and war and destruction, flooding and drought, polluted water and fresh springs. The earth is struggling, but maintaining an equanimity. Extremes arise and extremes fade away. Sometimes we're in the middle of a storm, a fire, a drought, a heat dome, and sometimes it's someone else across the planet. The earth is struggling, but the life is still pulsing with the rhythm. The sky grows dark until it starts growing light. The clouds blow in, the clouds blow through. The equanimity of watching the show, watching the performance, playing the roles that are appropriate for each of us, recognizing the ending of those roles as they come about. We're not exactly in the same role that we were in 10 years ago or 20 years ago. The plot changes, the performance goes on. But we can come back again and again to that equanimity, that acceptance of all the ordinary things, all the pain and sorrow, all the joy and the love. Feeling gratitude for the richness of this loving awareness, unfolding, unfolding, unfolding. Phenomena rolling on. And just holding this radiant light and love in the chest, near the heart, Let it expand, radiate in any direction it wishes. You can reach out to friends and family who are still living, those who have died, maybe those who are ready to be born. The radiance and light of this heart in this breathing body. The love rides on the breath, and the breath rides on the love. So mutual acceptance, loving awareness rolling on. And we use the sacred syllable Om to express our gratitude for the loving kindness and the compassion and the equanimity and joy in our lives. We send out forgiveness, we send out kindness, we send out good wishes in all directions, north and south and east and west, above and below, the living beings across the planet, beings of the air, beings of the earth, beings of the waters. They're all part of us, and we are part of them. Living beings sharing our lives on this living planet. So using Om as our expression of joy and celebration and equanimity and love, we take a breath. Om. Thank you. We've got a couple of things to announce from the digest, the newsletter of Portland Insight Meditation Community. We've got a class beginning on the 11th of October with Robert. He's returned from his sabbatical with a class prepared on the Eightfold Path. It'll stretch over more than 8 weeks. There'll be a couple Wednesdays where he's not in town, but he'll be in town and also broadcasting online on Wednesdays starting October 11th. And you can find that on portlandinsight.org. I'm going to be doing a in-person only Qigong workshop on the 21st of October, the third Saturday of the month. and it's going to run from 10 till 4, where I'll use poetry like we did this evening, use movement, which is a lot easier without camera and keyboard in between us, and so it'll be an in-person Qigong workshop alternating between sitting and moving and discussion. Bring a lunch, and we'll have a quiet lunch break, and that's the 21st of October. And there's all sorts of other things available at portlandinsight.org, and you can check that out. Sign up for the digest and get a full description. This week, the first announcement was for the children's program next Sunday, because they do a program for kids twice a month, and one of those Sundays is coming up. And I think there's a yard cleanup, window washing, just a Karma yoga party coming up on the 14th too. So there's lots of stuff going on, lots of ways of contributing to a community of practice. Some of it is contributing energy and time. Some of it is financial investment in the future. We pay it forward, so there's availability of meditation and contact with a larger Sangha because of all the electronics that weaves through the fabric of our community. All of that's costs money, and maintaining the gathering on Sunday, 10 o'clock on Sunday. There's usually several dozen people in the building and several more dozen online. So there's lots of opportunities to practice. There's lots of ways to grow as a loving community. So jump in, the water's fine. I had to throw somebody out the back door, but I'm not sure what that was all about. But there was a person exploring for some reason, trying to break our concentration, but minor detail. Not sure what motivates folks like that. Well, I think I'll close off the Facebook at this point and say goodnight to Facebook.